So. Go Irish.
This is Tom Loy with Irish247.com on the 24/7 Sports Network. We're here with Ann Arbor, Michigan Skyline four-star linebacker Jaylon Hayes. Some major news broke today when Hayes, a U.S. Army All-American, committed to the University of Notre Dame. Jaylon, let's start with that decision. Explain to everyone watching what went into that decision to take your talents to South Bend.
Well, the biggest thing in my recruitment, I wanted to take football out of the equation. Taking football, how would the school set me up for life? Alumni base, education, and overall would I be happy at the institution? I feel like it would set me up for life at the end of football, so I feel like Notre Dame was the best place for me.
At this point, how does it feel to just know that you're committed to the Fighting Irish?
The Fighting Irish has always had a special place in my heart, and it just really feels like a relief just finally being able to say that I'm a part of the Fighting Irish and being able to carry on the great linebacker tradition.
When you told your family, what did they have to say that you were going to continue your education at the University of Notre Dame?
My family has been very supportive in my decision. They never really told me where to go or where not to go. They always just said, you got to go where it makes you happy, because ultimately you have to be there for 3 to 4 years, waking up every day, going to class. When things get rough, you have to, bear through those tough times. So they just were very supportive in my decision. They never really steered me in one direction or another. They just said, wherever you choose to go, that would be your decision, and we'll support you.
Now, when you got a chance to tell head coach Brian Kelly during his in-home visit with you, what was his reaction about everything?
I think Coach Kelly was pretty excited. Coach Van Gorder was very excited as well. Coach Van Gorder gave me a big hug, grabbed the back of my neck. But no, it was great, man. I enjoyed myself having everybody over so they could really see my environment. Obviously when a recruit goes on campus, they get to see the environment that you're going to be immersed in. But to see the environment of which I come from with my mom, my 2 younger brothers, and my dad obviously being there, and my coach. So it was a great night. I had a great time.
Looking at your decision as a whole, how big of a factor did defensive line coach Keith Gilmore play into you becoming a part of the Irish?
I think the biggest thing about Notre Dame was that they continued to recruit me throughout my entire process, from the time before they even offered me, from the time before I was an offer recruit, to the time I got offered at the Irish Invasion Camp, to the time I was committed to USC, and then the time I decommitted. They had just been very consistent. To whereas the other schools like versus Ohio State, who was very new when I decommitted, Michigan State had kind of backed off once I was committed. But I feel like the Irish really, I felt like that was a school that just continued to pursue me as a recruit, and it was a great thing. So Coach Gilmore, obviously, he came in during the spring and came to see me twice during the spring evaluation period, and we've developed a great relationship. And obviously, when I told him I was going to be a part of the Fighting Irish, he was ecstatic. Finally, like all that work had kind of like paid off. So it was fun.
There's a lot of chatter about your future position at Notre Dame. You being around 6'4", 240 pounds, you could play linebacker, defensive end. Has that been discussed? Whether you're going to be playing linebacker or defensive end at the next level? They
didn't discuss whether I was going to. Coach Van Gorder's biggest emphasis that he was stressing me when he was on the in-home is that he's not putting a label on what I'm, saying, like, how Jaylon, he'll sometime line up in the box, he'll line up on the box on number 2, or he'll go rush the passer on 3rd down. It'll be that similar type of feel. So I'll be doing a variety of things. He wants to use every attribute that I have, and just continue to be develop under him and become the best football player that I can be.
Taking back to your recruitment a little bit, you committed to USC back on July 26, 2014, kind of a while ago,
right.
And looked, at least publicly, like you were a firm pledge the entire time up into your decommitment from the Trojans on October 12th.
Yeah.
What truly played into that decision to part ways with the Trojans?
Obviously, with the Trojans being across the country, it would have had to been a somewhat utopia situation, a perfect situation
right.
for me to go all the way out there that far away from home. And obviously with the events with the head coaching change and things along that nature, my parents just didn't feel comfortable with me going out there, nor did I. So I figured it was in my best interest that I part ways and decide to stay a little bit closer to home.
When you did tell them that you were going to part ways with them at that point, whether it would be Sark or your primary recruiter, how did they take the news?
how does anyone take the news that you're decommitting? But obviously it was a respect. Obviously, respect. I have nothing but respect to the USC coaching staff, and I wish them the best. But at the end of the day, that wasn't my path that I ended up going down.
In addition to Notre Dame, your finalists included Ohio State and Michigan State. The Spartans were a big player here. Talk about them a little bit and what it was that had you so interested in them.
The Spartans, obviously, that relationship that I built with the coaching staff. They were my first offer. Like I said, they recruited me very heavy up until I committed, and then they kind of backed off a little bit. But obviously, when I decommitted, they got back into the picture.
Right.
So it was a great relationship with those guys. They'll always have a special place in my heart because they were my first offer.
Right.
But that was pretty much Michigan State.
Same question. How did the Buckeyes get into the picture after you decommitted from USC?
Oh, with Coach Alfred. Coach Alfred, obviously I met Coach Alfred at the Irish Invasion camp. He was coaching the running backs, and we were going against him as linebackers. But I've known Coach Alfred since really my first visit on Notre Dame. So it was I had that previous relationship with him that really opened the door that Ohio State never had. So obviously with that trust with Coach Alfred and that relationship that we had already had, I just continued to build it from a different perspective, I guess, in a way, with Ohio State. So.
On that same note, clear something up about Tony Alford, the running backs coach at Ohio State. There's a lot of rumors going around, most of which I don't necessarily believe, but I want to go directly to the source. Was he negatively recruiting against Notre Dame?
No. Coach Alford refused to speak anything on Notre Dame. He was always trying to sell Ohio State. Never said anything negative about Notre Dame. Never tried to tear down one institution to try and glorify another. Coach Alford he refused, honestly. Like he honestly stressed it to me that he didn't want to negatively say anything about Notre Dame or any school with that matter. So no, definitely not. No, it was definitely a respectful relationship and a respectful view on Notre Dame and Ohio State, the institutions that they are.
You've made it clear that you look up to Irish linebacker and new Buckus Award winner Jaylon Smith. You always call him your big bro in every interview. How impactful was he during your recruitment, and how comfortable did he make you with all aspects regarding Notre Dame as a whole?
It was, at some point in time throughout this process, I believe every recruit has it where it's just like, wow, like you're taking in everything and you're just like, whoa, like this school's saying this school's saying that, this school's saying this, and you kind of get overwhelmed. You're like, okay, I want to go to, I can only go to one school. So one night I had actually just texted Jay and I was like, bro, man, you going through this, you know what I'm saying, big time recruit. I was just like what should I do? And he didn't tell me to go to Notre Dame. He didn't tell me to go to Ohio State. He didn't tell me to go to Michigan State. He said you have to really focus on what you want to accomplish and what does each school provide, you know what I'm saying, as far as a platform for you to reach your ultimate potential and your goal. And after talking with him, discussing my goals, obviously being a great football player, but also having that degree that speaks volumes in itself. And like I said, taking football out of the equation, and I felt that Notre Dame was the best fit for me. So,
let's talk about you a little bit as a player. Obviously, everyone saw my footage from earlier this year when I came out here to maybe in your first game of the season, and you looked dominant when you were out there. You showed an ability to play in coverage, rush the passer, and cause havoc in the backfield. But let's be honest, due to some unfortunate injuries, there's limited footage of you on the field since you started playing high school ball. But what kind of player is Notre Dame getting in Daylon Hayes?
I would say a freak. Like you said, I can do it all. Really, I just look forward, God willing, for the opportunity to showcase it on the national scale that I have not been able to the way I wanted to throughout my high school career. I believe that I haven't even scratched the surface of what I can really do, and as far as showcasing it to other people. And I look forward to that opportunity. And go Irish.
You're very personable, no doubt about that, with a great personality. Your ability to be open and honest about your process has made you one of my favorite recruits to deal with, definitely throughout this recruiting cycle, and you've made my job a lot easier. Will you take that energy and become an active recruiter for Notre Dame?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a little late to it, but once I officially joined the Fighting Irish, now that I am officially a part of the Fighting Irish, there's definitely guys that we got to go get now to make this class, the best Notre Dame class that is coming in quite some time. So,
are there any recruits you want to talk to and try to get on board with the Irish, or is there anyone that Coach Kelly or Coach Gilmore has asked you to start building a relationship with?
Well, here's the great thing about Notre Dame. Some of the recruits I've already talked to, Tony Jones, Spencer Perry, I've built a relationship with those guys, even Ian. So it's great. So it's kind of like a family. Parker as well. Yeah, I love Parker. But yeah, so I have a great relationship with those guys. So we're definitely going to team up and get a few guys. I know Javon McKinley is a guy. Demetrius Robertson is a guy we want to get. So, and then Donnie Corley, we're going to work on him as well. So I definitely look forward to going out and, like I said, making this class as dominant as we can possibly be.
All right, Jaylon, first, congratulations on your commitment to Notre Dame. And
Thank you.
secondly, I want to thank you for taking the time to sit down with Irish 24/7 and 24/7 Sports. For new Irish commit Jaylon Hayes, I'm Tom Loy, and thanks for watching on Irish247.com.